Everybody, it's balcony time.
Balcony time. Oh,
hey!
Are we screaming this time?
No, I just.
No, we
I
just-
feel like that's how we open balcony time now. Is someone just goes, "Hey, you!"
That's how I
Christopher Walken. Hey.
That's
Whoa.
how I opened Video
Whoa,
Game Tango
whoa.
the other week, yeah.
Oh.
And last week you opened balcony time that way. We just, hey!
Yep. It's kids get off my lawn. Fine.
Yeah.
Right.
The funny thing is when you, so we had Sears' daughter over last week, and when you did your, hey, there was an immediate shut up from over there.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that, and I couldn't tell.
She was trying to
said it.
sleep.
So
yeah.
I didn't hear it while we were recording, but you definitely hear it in the recording.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, poor girl.
Yeah.
We have been watching Star Wars Holiday Edition 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Obi-Wan Kenobi story. I'm sorry. Kenobi, a Star Wars story.
Yes. So
The Kenobi story.
One of those variations.
Mm-hmm.
One of those variations.
Mm-hmm. We got opinions.
We do have opinions.
I want Josh to release his opinions first and get that bladder degassed, because I think you have a lot.
Degas your bladder on us.
Honestly,
Unload on me, please.
It's been very good. It's been
Yeah,
very
overall
good so
vibe
far.
off the bat.
Overall,
Yeah. Solid, decent show.
Solid. There's been a few things where I was like, that I don't like that. It's only going to make sense if X or if Y. And so far, they've actually been doing X and Y. I mean, should we just get in right into spoilers, or just keep it kind of?
I mean, let's just keep it to don't talk about last night's episode. It's a bit soon, but episodes 1 through 4, if anybody's watching the show, they've already seen those for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Because 4 came out last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to touch on it. I think that the weakest part of the show is what they gave to the little girl to do, and it's really unrealistic to expect that from a 9 or 10-year-old.
To carry so much acting and narrative weight. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, from her outrunning adults to her being a mechanic, it's
the actual in universe stuff that she's doing. Okay, the diegetic stuff.
Giving. It's really only 2 instances. I feel like Leia's maybe been in this 10 to 15% more than she should.
Yeah. I have nothing against the actress. She's doing
no. The little girl's nailing the job. I just think she doesn't need to be in it as much because it is.
Obi-Wan.
It is Obi-Wan's story.
Yeah.
But she is a wonderful hook to get him off Tatooine.
Yeah.
To get him back into the universe at large. But I really feel like her arc kind of should have ended. Now, she gets away now. She should get away now. I don't know. Ending it now would be fine. If she gets away now and we don't deal with Leia really a whole lot anymore, that's okay.
And we found out, I think you confirmed this, there's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And last night's was episode 5. So Leia's going to be in it in every episode.
That's what it's true. At this point, I'm wondering how they're going to tie some of this stuff up, because I am curious with only 1 episode left, because we know where this path heads.
Because you were talking about Clone Wars or Ahsoka's show.
So there's Star Wars Rebels, which takes place roughly 5 years after the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
So there's some characters in the show that have met a questionable fate in Obi-Wan so far, Grand Inquisitor. But there's some stuff. Rebels is Disney canon, so they're generally not going to trash their own canon, and I don't know, especially with Ahsoka getting her own show, which is essentially going to be Rebels season 5. So I'm feeling. That's why I was able to call a few things in last night's episode, where it's it has to go this way. That's the only way it makes sense for things to remain canon. But so far, I've been really really enjoying it. It's great to see Hayden Christensen back out there because he faced a pretty hard rap. It's not easy to be in a Star Wars movie, as it turns out. The fandom is rabid.
Yeah,
that's one way to put it.
Fucking baffles me.
It is nice to see him not just turning away from the series, but being like, you know what, I've had enough time. I want to come back in. It's good to see he's being pleasantly received.
Yeah, the prequels have become not only a source for memes, but a bit of a cult classic.
Right.
You know, they are not fantastic movies, but they have a charm to them. And especially after seeing the sequels, we realize in some ways the prequels weren't nearly as bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, going into Obi-Wan, I didn't have a lot of expectations. I'm not really up on the Rebels, that era timeline Star Wars lore. But I mean, I've seen A New Hope. I know where this all kind of leads. Star Wars, Disney has this, I don't even know if I want to call it a problem, but Star Wars it's not targeted towards its original audience, right? Shit came out 70s, 80s, prequels in the 90s. A lot of the people who grew up with the original trilogy or the prequels, they're our age, 35, 40, 50, right? But it's not aimed towards them. It's a teen to, at times, child aimed thing, except for things like Han Solo story, Mandalorian, right? We do get those times where they're like, okay, we're going to try to make a more adult version. I'm okay when the show is clearly trying to be high power fantasy, very Marvel-esque, right? They don't need to have a lot of really heavy adult themes in the show. What constantly irks me is the contrivances for the sake of the narrative. And we talked about this the other night. Like, kids pick up on this stuff, teenagers especially. Like, when somebody pulls out a solution to a problem in the show in a moment that hadn't been touched on before, just so that they can get to the next point in the plot, or if bad guys make awful decisions so that the good guys can get to the place they need to be for the narrative, that's just weak writing. It's lazy writing, right? You don't have to do that. There are so many really awesome moments in the show, both like action wise and setting wise and theme wise and cinematography.
Yeah,
that
doesn't really need that.
I think I mentioned the other night. It's hard for me to give a general overall opinion of the show other than it's decent. It's pretty good because there's some moments I really, really like. And then the majority of the time it's a decent, good show. And then there's sometimes like, that's fucking stupid. Like, why did you put that in there? Like, and were we going to say something?
Honestly, I kind of feel like if you removed Vader from the show, I'm not sure if I would have kept watching it after the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I mean, you really,
because
he is a driving force in the show. It's not like a procedural or a sitcom. There's no strong, real reason to keep watching it. It's not like the narrative is off the charts or there's a lot of interactive character development. It's really just kind of set piece to tell the story they're telling. And Vader has made up a majority of the really cool moments in the show. Not all of them, but enough that, like you said, if you were to take them out, this show would be noticeably weaker.
Yeah.
Well, there's honestly, if there's no interaction between Obi-Wan and Vader, then you don't have a show, because otherwise it's a dude living in the desert, being as meek and as quiet as he can, hoping not to attract attention.
Creeped on a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's his whole point, right? I mean, so
for a non-Star Wars fan, they could have cut Vader out of the show. They could have just had the Inquisitors. That would have been okay as far as the standard viewer goes. But the fact that Vader's in there, even though sometimes it feels like Vader's a cheat code because he's so fucking cool, they probably could have gotten away, at least narrative, what does this make sense in the story with not having Vader really that big in the show? But again, it would have been much worse off.
Well, I mean, so Vader's I don't know, he's not. Sure, there's a few scenes where he plays super large, and those are some of the coolest scenes. But overall, the driving force is Third Sister.
Yeah,
she. I would call her the most interacted with antagonist.
She's very interesting as an antagonist, and I know a lot of people give her shit online, but I think she's done a great job, and I think the characters.
think we talked about her getting Moses Ingram getting a lot of hate online. And again, like, our opinion hasn't changed. That's still wrong.
It's awful.
If you're doing that, stop being a piece of shit.
There is almost the only times you get to shit on actors for something they do in the show is when the actors themselves do something awful in real life. Like, if you don't like the way somebody plays a character in a show, check first to make sure that they're not doing that on purpose. Like, a really good example is Walter White's wife. So many people despise her character in the show. You're kind of supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's not designed to be hated just for being hated's sake. Like, a lot of the characters in that show that people tend not to like are purposefully acted and written and acted a way that's the goal, right? So I don't even know what basis they could have other than
she's black.
Well, yeah. Besides the
Star
obvious,
Wars.
just
but like
awful
that's
thing.
the primary thing.
Yeah.
Is that's what they hate most.
Yeah.
Honestly, is that she's black.
I mean, are people vocal about that though?
No, they're like, well, how they're vocal about it is like, well, can't we just say she's a bad actress without making it about racism? And when you like frame it that way, like my immediate thought is like, oh, you're being a racist piece of shit. You're just like,
There are people that will call people like her. I don't care for her acting personally, but there are people like the Twitter for what it is fucking a toxic environment from all sides, right?
oh yeah, absolutely.
And when people vocalize like they don't like an actor, and if they happen to be a person of color, there are just people that will assume that you don't like them because they're a person of color, right?
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
So I mean, there is some now. I think it's okay to assume that some of those people don't like her because of her race, right? But I also wouldn't assume that anybody saying like, "Can't I just dislike her because she's a bad actor?" is actually like a racist, you know?
At the end of the day, there is no amazing acting in this show.
No.
I think Ewan McGregor does a good job.
Yeah.
I think that for her age, the girl playing Leia is doing a great job.
Yeah.
But it's Star Wars. This shit is campy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, look at the other Inquisitors. They're straight out of like a 6-year-old's crayon drawings of what a bad guy acts like.
Yeah.
You know, like for Reva, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, for what she's given, and she doesn't write her own dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, this is all given to her. Like, she's playing a hateful, driven woman who is single-minded and willing to put everything at risk to get this done. She's done a fantastic job. And in this episode that we're not going to talk about, she has a scene where she does exactly where I want her to. She takes all that fucking rage and fury and just acts it. It is great. It's short, but it's like, that's what I wanted to see out of her character, because you've shown us what her drive is and what her goals are, and I think she does a fantastic job of that. Her acting's not going to win a fucking Oscar, but no one's expecting that of Star Wars.
No,
you
really,
know?
So so far I would say this is, other than Mando, this is the best thing Disney has brought to the table for
Live
Star
action,
Wars,
yeah.
live action wise. Rogue One is also really good.
Rogue One was really good.
Rogue One's probably my favorite
Star
content
Wars
that they've
movie.
put out.
Definitely that they've put out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Solo had its charm.
I liked Solo.
Solo was fun for what it was.
Fun. It was fun.
I don't like having to
bad.
put a general opinion on it, because there's a lot of things I liked, a lot of things I didn't.
Solo was a good Star Wars movie. It doesn't necessarily.
I was disappointed they decided not to continue, because I was sold on the idea of a Han Solo show.
Yeah, I would just, we're adults now. I would like to see more adult themed stuff. And I'm not just talking violence and sex. I'm like dealing with the Black Sun Syndicate and all the vice and stuff that comes with that and that extended stuff. Like, you could have some really good Sopranos style shows in there. And I know that's kind of the tack they took with Mandalorian, but then we had, what was the second season of Mandalorian, had all that Boba Fett Vespa shit, right?
Yeah, well, that was the Book of Boba Fett.
That was Book of Boba
not
Fett.
Mandalorian.
Okay, not Mandalorian. Because like Mandalorian had some really good, like, I think back to the scene where the Mandalorian and whatnot, they're in the Imperial base talking to that Imperial commander about what's Bill Burr's character was there. Like, that was some of the best like footage of of just acting and good quality stuff I've seen in almost any Star Wars thing in a long time. And it's like a 3-minute sequence. That was a very adult thing, dealing with PTSD and war and the idea of lives where they have value, and the way they acted. The whole thing is so tense, and the guy who played the villain was so good. Like, we know they can do it. The question is, like, Obi-Wan's a kind of a mainline Star Wars thing. Again, it's kind of aimed towards being a campy, high-power fantasy, semi-kid-based thing, so I'm not going to expect Mando quality shit out of it. But at the end of the day, my major gripe, again, is just there's so many contrivances. Like, I literally throwing my hand up or, like, trying to wrap my head around what just happened, and I realized, they needed this to happen so that the plot can continue the way they wrote it.
Yeah.
It's like, in real life, some of these decisions are so off the wall, bonkers, stupid. It's like, I can't enjoy your show because I'm having to pretend these things are okay.
I don't know. I would say it's definitely one of the better properties.
B+.
Disney's produced.
That's where it's at
Star
for me.
Wars. It's great. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah. We talked a bit last night about how the last episode, it's got some ways it could go that would be really awful. But every time we've been worried about that, like you said earlier, they've done the thing that made the most sense.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that
they just keep doing that.
They keep doing that. And I don't really see how they're going to wrap it up, but I don't know. So, what else? Andy, you said you've just been watching game stuff all week?
Yeah, all week.
Yep.
So, it started last week. I decided I wasn't going to wait for other news outlets to post news and curate and all that. So I started really deep diving into the games that were being showcased so we could get, the studios that's making them, so we can get Steam links posted to our blog, so we could get trailers posted to our blog. And in time, right? Before all the other news outlets are on it, right?
I want to bring it to you first.
Well, it's not about being first. It's just about
and second
being
prepared and relevant.
We get one shot a week at this,
right?
So with all this stuff happening in 1 week, yeah.
So
a lot to thank you for.
And then there's a lot of time spent, watching every trailer, going to every Steam page or their website or whatever given medium they've chosen to display their game, whether it be on console or a variety of consoles or an exclusive, because not everything's got a Steam page, right? Not everything's got an Epic Game Store page. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they've just got their website, or they're using the PlayStation website or the Xbox website, right, to kind of showcase their game. So now most of the AAA titles, they have their own dedicated website, but I want to make sure I have links to those, links to the trailers. We've got release dates, at least for those that have release dates, or even release years. That way, when we bring it to the audience, it's like curated, ready. And then not only that, but like the sheer volume. I showed you guys the doc that I created, right? So
it's well over 100.
Everything we got last week. So we talked about State of Play last week. We talked about the OTK Games Expo last week. But after that happened, so Wednesday, the day we went, no, it was Thursday? Maybe it was Wednesday. I can't remember whether it was the day we went live or the day the podcast goes up. But we had Summer Games Fest, and then immediately after we had IGN Expo, the EGS Games Showcase, Tribeca Games Spotlight, Freedom Games, Guerrilla Collective, Wholesome Direct.
Yeah, there's a couple dozen games.
Future of Play Direct, right? Future Games Show. The one that I was looking at earlier, Wholesome Direct, is like 70 fucking games, right? So I have Steam pages for all of these. That way, at least I can get descriptors. I'm not putting too much effort into like the whole games shows, because a lot of the game showcases are showing like duplicates of stuff that we've already covered, or
filler and whatnot.
Right. Or they may not necessarily be for our audience. There's plenty of other news outlets doing that. So what I wanted to do is kind of curate a list that I thought was going to be good for us, good for our style of gameplay, and what I imagine, we have a relatively small audience that talks to us. So I'm trying to fit like everybody's like taste into a few really good curated games, or at least hopefully good, right?
Yeah, we have a pretty wide taste in games.
We do, yeah.
I mean, I'm fucking niche as shit. Josh is burgeoning in his PC experience. Andy, you're decently niche. I mean, we all kind of have thankfully, a lot of our niches overlap, but it's not like we all play sports games or we all play shooters.
I don't
and
like
that's
sports games.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, sometimes they're great.
I did like turbo golf racing.
Sure.
And I like Rocket League.
Yeah.
So, like, are those sports games?
Technically, but
Rocket League, that's
they're like sports arcade games.
Yeah, I would consider Rocket League a sports game.
I think
there's a soccer ball right in it. Sometimes there's a hockey puck.
I think the last official sports game I played was NFL Blitz. For the 64.
Dude, I like the Blitz games too. Those were fun, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Mario Tennis was a lot of fun too.
Dude, I tell you
It's
what.
not as far as a Mario game.
I know, but
I'm
it's
not like, I need to play as Roger
Right.
Federer.
So I would say the Mario sports games are definitely sports games. If Smash Bros gets to be a fighting game, the sports games are sports games.
I mean, that's fine, but they're so different from like FIFA.
They're sports arcade games.
That, like, it doesn't help to call them sports games, because if you take FIFA and you take Mario Soccer, those are so wildly different game experiences. Like, one, you're like managing teams and looking at the stats of your fucking players, and like
some guy.
The other
at
one, you're like,
playbooks
I want to
and
play as
whatnot.
Yoshi.
The other one's like Yoshi eats the fucking soccer ball and shits it out over the Koopa Troopa's head for a double goal.
You punch your friend for taking Shy Guy, right?
It's definitely a sports game. I don't know if I can't put it in the same group as realistic sports games.
Yeah.
It's no Madden, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. John Madden.
Madden.
Hey, you.
So, yeah, I was, so just as far as that goes, I spent my entire week just coming up with the lists and getting that curated and all that. It was a huge fucking 7 days of just game after game after game. And that's because we didn't get E3 this year. E3 was canceled fairly short notice. So
they're bringing it back?
Well, that was supposed to happen this year.
Oh.
They were supposed to bring it back. But E3 was supposed to be this last week. It got canceled pretty short notice with only like weeks of notice. So people like Jeff Keighley of the Game Awards. I mean, Jeff Keighley has just done a great thing for the industry, but he's kind of taken charge as far as doing like the world premieres, especially of AAA titles, with a few sprinkles of indie games mixed in too, in the form of the Game Awards or the Summer Games Fest. Netflix has even kind of taken up some of the mantle as far as that goes by having Geeked Week. But on top of that, like everybody, even besides the, like what would have been an E3 booth in the past, everybody had their Games Expo, right? You got Xbox and Bethesda, Sony State of Play. We still haven't gotten the Nintendo Direct yet. I think that's later this week, if I remember correct.
Late.
Well, they do their own schedule because they do Nintendo Direct like regularly.
Yeah.
They
a couple times a year, don't they?
A few times a year, yeah. Nintendo may be like the most transparent games company there is out there as far as like showing off their new properties and upcoming titles.
Well, school's almost out for the kids.
Yep.
My niece has got one more day tomorrow. I'm going to come in blaring School's Out for Summer, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be more of those little fuckers walking around town.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be everywhere.
Those bastards.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're going to come to where I work. Damn it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that does mean more money.
It means more money.
Well, I guess, yeah. You think the kids are going to tip you?
No.
The parents are, though.
But the parents might, and then I'll have to be there longer. And as it turns out, I'm paid by the hour still.
Yeah.
Which is why
So-
sometimes I lie and say I'm there longer than I actually am.
You're an
Good way to
expensive
admit
slut.
that on record.
Oh,
Josh.
she knows I'm kidding. It's fine.
So one of the before we ended Video Game Tango, we went too long, so I thought against it. I kind of wish we'd done it now. If you could choose like between like 1 and 3 games that are on the top of your list of what we just did, like what we just viewed in the episode, what would they be? Do you remember from their names well enough?
For me, it would be Flat Eye, the cyberpunk gas station simulator, the stealth film noir game at the bottom,
Yes, that is
All the
Shadows of Doubt.
Shadows of Doubt looked interesting, and then the NASA shooter.
Yeah, Boundary.
Boundary.
Boundary, yeah.
Boundary looks like a neat take on the first-person shooter genre. Again, I'm a sucker for novelty, and I would like to experience those.
Well, it's new, you know.
Yeah,
It's not just novel; it's new. You know,
I've played so many games. I try to think about it every once in a while. I'm like, mobile games alone, just for smartphones going forward. I think I've played over 1,000.
Yeah,
that's just that one console. You know, it's the number. It's so hard for me to enjoy games that don't bring anything new to the table, even though really, you know, everything's been done before, but like finding new ways to meld things together, like the idea of a point and click whodunit with a voxel stealth game. That's, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen it before.
Right.
So what about you, Josh?
For me, I think No Place for Bravery. The pixel art looked fucking fantastic on that. It had what seemed like a really fun, albeit kind of generic fantasy story, but a story that went along. The second. The Children of Morta esque one.
Yeah.
Where you had to save your, reunite your family kind of a deal. It goes without saying, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Sorry.
Okay.
It goes without saying.
Josh flipped the page on his notebook, and there's a genie lamp spouting a magic dick.
It's what you wished for.
Yeah.
That was for magic dick.
So obviously it goes without saying, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said it.
Twice, in fact. But Outpost looks super cool if it's going to be doing what I think it's going to be doing. But for me, and then the other big one for me is actually a game we covered last week. But since it came out with all the, this release of stuff, is Medieval Rust.
Renown.
Renown. That's right. I want Renown. I want it now.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's Renowned.
Renowned. I want to have a castle. I want a Scotsman to try and siege it.
No, it was just Renown. Yeah,
you know,
I was right the first time.
I want to ride him down with cavalry style. It's going to be great.
So clever for you. The fucking multiplayer combat demo is out as part of the Steam Next Fest.
For Renown?
Yeah.
Looks like I get what I want.
Yeah. Play
awesome.
it. Let us know how it goes.
I will.
I really want to hear your take on it.
I would also say Turtles because regular Nintendo Ninja Turtles was one of the first games I ever played, period.
Yeah.
So nostalgia and you guys said it was multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Online co-op multiplayer.
That'd sell it to me.
I mean, how do you not talk about that and get that stuck in your head immediately, right?
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you watched most of the podcast, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What other games were you into?
I also my interest was piqued by the Cyberpunk gas station.
Yeah, by Flat Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flat Eye looks really cool. Yeah. So that Flat Eye makes it on. It doesn't make it to my top 3, but obviously this was kind of my curated
hard.
list.
Yeah.
All of these are fucking incredible looking games, right?
I want to do an honorable mention real quick.
Sure.
The Entropy Center.
Entropy Center looks interesting and fun.
Interesting and fun.
Yeah, and really the only kind of it's not a AAA game studio that's putting this out, but it's the only one that's coming to every. It's got a big budget clearly, and it's coming to every platform. It's not just 1 to 4 devs sitting in a room making an indie game. It looks like it's got a decent sized studio backing it.
Do you remember the old game Myst? Do you think it's sort of in the same genre?
I wouldn't say in the same genre as Myst.
Okay.
It's
been a long time.
I
knew it was kind of like a
Portal vibes.
I mean,
very, very much like Portal.
It is a puzzle game, but I wouldn't. I mean, the only things that it shares with Myst is that it is a puzzle game and it is first person, which I guess Myst wasn't really first.
It was first person.
Well, were you
The
able to
thing
move
is-
around? I don't remember being. It was
how
a
Myst
point and click
worked
adventure,
is
wasn't it?
that the engine ran on. They pre-rendered all the graphics and then saved them as images.
Yeah.
So as you would click to move across a bridge, they would just swap images.
Yeah.
And then they had a few animations, which were just
Right.
20, 30 frames of like a windmill going around.
And they were seen from the first person perspective, but I wouldn't call it like a first person.
It was first person.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
You were walking around and you
Yeah.
had to look at stuff. I mean, like a lot of the point and click adventures of that time.
Yeah.
But it was mind blowing at the time because normally to render those level of graphics back then in real time would be almost impossible for a home PC. So
Yeah.
by front loading all that work beforehand and saving it as an image,
Yeah.
Myst was known as not only groundbreaking as far as puzzles went.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
still to this day has some just it holds up as
holds
far
up.
as a puzzle game goes.
Yeah.
But the graphics were off the chart. And then
Yeah.
Riven came out and it's like those games are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Like we had almost nothing to compare them to. except
Yeah, at the
for
time,
once
no.
PlayStation era kind of came out. Then
But
yeah,
Myst
they
was
started catching
years
up.
before the play. I mean,
Yeah,
Myst
that
was like 93.
94, 93.
Yeah, dude.
I know it's way back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even a couple years before the PlayStation comes out, you know,
Yeah.
93.
93. Yeah.
So September 93, and then the PlayStation didn't come out until 95.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
then
go back
N64
and
the
look at
following
it.
year.
You're going to look at it and be like, oh, yeah, that's definitely bad 3D. It's in 1993.
Right. It
You
was
know?
1993D.
Yeah. Like, that it was really fucking good for a fucking game
Yeah.
from 93.
Yeah.
Damn, putting that
know.
in perspective, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that
Considering
game in
how the
93 was
resolution was
mind-blowing.
probably 200 by 400
Yeah,
pixels.
right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as my top three, I think so. There is no light. That is the first game we looked at. Pixel art, hack and slash,
Oh,
top down. Yeah. Looks as long as the gameplay is tight, I'm in. I'm sold just based on the aesthetics and the game and like the gameplay loop alone.
Out of the 3 pixel Metroidvania Dark Souls-esque games that we saw, the last one,
The Last Faith.
if I had to pick one, it's the one that looks the most tight. And I mean, like it's cinched up. It's like been honed. Just surely those finishers,
yeah, that's
like-
The Last Faith.
like that.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, all the arts were great. But
Yeah.
like, if I was because they're very similar games. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say I'd be interested most in that one.
That's actually my number 2. So 2 pixel art games, both, you know, hack and slash in their own right. One's true hack and slash. One's more of a Metroidvania.
We
but
could
both
each pick
gorgeous.
the one up because we each kind of said one was more of our favorite, and then we could have a week where we just talk about here's 3 Metroidvanias we all played.
Yeah, the Last Faith doesn't have a demo though.
Oh yeah, we'll have to wait on those ones.
Yeah, There Is No Light. I will be playing that this week because there is a demo available, so I'm definitely going to be playing that. My third is Outpost. If it plays like it shows in the trailer, I'm fucking in 110%.
Yeah, that was Lost Planet meets fucking asymmetrical potential RTS with first person shooter.
With an immense amount of enemies on
Satisfactory
screen.
style building bases.
Yeah, I mean, probably not to the level of like resource management and that kind of thing, but
yeah, just the style of the buildings where like
Yeah.
you're building these industrial style like turrets and walls and whatnot.
Yeah.
And when you say immense amount of enemies, holy
yes.
garbage, Batman!
Now-
There was thousands of them.
I can only think, I can only imagine that they're rendered as one thing until you fire at them and they split off.
It
Because
could be, yeah. because
I
you
don't
can't-
know what computer would fucking play that game if they're each individual, like, fully
I
rendered
remember
enemies.
seeing tech demos a few years
Sure.
ago about voxels being used to make almost fractal versions of themselves, and
Yeah.
they're rendering millions of things on screen. But I don't know if it's using that technology or it's more like you said, they have this one rendered thing that when it takes damage, it has animations of them falling.
That's kind of what it looked like based
He
on the
was shooting at
trailer.
a thing. It was like half a mile away in the sky. And
Right.
It's just unloading on it. So, you know, you're just trying to thin the fucking horde a bit. But yeah, Control. That one looked really neat. Yeah, a fucking heat sucks. Have you guys noticed like meteor become crashed onto us? The weather has been all over the place.
Oh my God, yeah.
Dude, it's like Adam was telling me because he follows the weather really closely. We had that couple cold day stretch,
Yeah.
a rainy day stretch. It was like a one in 1,000, something like that. They're like almost like record breaking random rain and cold for like 2 days before
Yeah.
then it's 90 something again at 100% humidity. We had, oh man, that humidity was
Gross.
I walk
Apparently-
outside and it's just like, no.
Yeah.
Apparently, the rest of the country is in a heat wave. We're like
Yeah.
one of the cooler parts of the country at the
I can
moment.
only imagine.
As far as I know,
Russ out there in Texas.
How's
Oh,
Texas
gross.
feeling, homie?
Where's he
yucky.
at again? Do we know?
Outside of Houston.
Sweaty.
Okay.
You guys hear about Yellowstone? Apparently,
Yeah.
major flooding. They had to shut it down.
Yeah,
shit.
like serious flooding, like
Yeah.
moving mountains style flooding. Yeah, shit. It looks like I've seen a bunch of still images from Yellowstone, and it looks unreal.
Wait, I don't know enough about the geography of Yellowstone. Where did it get flooded from? Just rain?
Probably rain and snowmelt.
Is there a
I mean,
nearby
if they're
river?
getting that heat wave there, I imagine
Then
that's a
all-
lot
yeah,
of
this-
snowmelt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Russell's got a 99-degree weekend coming up. Woo.
Yeehaw!
Ah,
Tejas.
chaos.
Yeah, no. I am not looking forward. I know you guys are looking forward to like kayaking and stuff, dude. I'm not like. So first of all, I'm probably not going to be kayaking this summer. It's just the way the cookie crumbles as far as my schedule goes. If I do, it
just
might
tired
be
of being in
once,
the house.
maybe twice, right? But that means that I have to deal with the heat without all the fun parts, and I'm not
Yeah.
into it. I don't want the heat. Fuck the heat.
What about
Heat can
rafting?
Fuck
You
off.
like rafting, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get some rafting. in.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like probably once or twice. These guys have plans on going every like Sunday.
As soon as it stops raining on one of my fucking days off when I'm planning this goddamn thing, man.
Yeah, I don't plan on going. I don't like rafting that much. I like.
I would
like.
rather raft than kayak. That was why I was hoping you'd come, Andy.
Ah.
Everybody else wants to be in a kayak, and I figure the two of us
Because it's better.
share a raft
Oh,
together.
I don't know that I would raft with you, Justin. Just the two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not enough control over a raft.
All right.
Yeah,
Just not to get a big one. It's a good 2-person raft.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's
Depends.
not a canoe. What is a 2-person?
Yeah, I know, right? That's just a
Two-person.
2-person kayak. like that's just a
Where's-
kayak with 2 holes.
Where's the line drawn?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, this little inflatable.
yeah, but you look
I
at
drew a
those,
line
and those are
for
the
you.
ones that are like $35 on Amazon.
you can get one from REI for $60.
Sure.
It's the same thing with a different color.
Yeah, it's the same thing,
John
but from
Moore
our
dicks.
REI.
No, it's added,
Got the veins.
I just added to the one.
Oh, nice. What are they? Vascularity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very vascular.
Squeeze and tight on it.
You been keeping up on the boys, Andy?
Oh yeah, big time.
How good has that been, though?
It was
Amazing, incredible.
Right?
I felt so great for Huey.
Yeah, dude. Of course. So, of course, Huey gets teleportation, right?
Like the super speed or whatever.
No, it's teleportation.
It's teleportation. Yeah, he
literally
teleports
teleports out
himself
of his
naked.
clothes, yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't get to keep his clothes. So of course, his power is the thing that helps him get away and also makes him insanely vulnerable, right?
Also,
like,
keep in mind, Translucent also went around naked all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but he was not
killed
invisible.
Translucent too.
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, there's a lot of like really great subtext with all of these, like fucking Butcher getting laser eyes and super
Yeah.
strength,
Yeah.
and being like
Like getting the powers of the person. he
being
hates.
analogous of Homelander.
Exactly, that he hates.
Yeah,
the most.
and Huey getting powers that are just super appropriate for his character. They do such a good job in writing the show, dude. So in the first episode, in the first 5 minutes, there's they have like a red carpet showing of the Dawn of the Seven, right? And they've got Huey there, they've got Homelander there, and Homelander's not being paid much mind. And he's just kind of standing over on the side of the red carpet. And Huey is asked to get out of the way real quick, and he bumps into Homelander, which is insane, right? Like an episode ago, that would have meant Huey's death.
Yeah.
But because Homelander just kind of like looked at him, shrugged it off, and like, well, this is my life now. That moment explained to you in its entirety what's happened between like the year that the last season ended and the year and the end of the year that this season started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like what good fucking writing.
Great, isn't
Good.
it?
That
good acting.
yeah.
I need to watch it. I
Excellent.
need to catch up.
Oh,
I
dude.
don't mind the spoilers, but I've only ever seen the first season, so
Oh yeah, definitely
missing
get
out.
caught up.
Watch it. How many are there? Is this third season?
Yeah,
It
there's
is the third season.
4
Yeah,
episodes
it's
into the third
Not
season.
terribly far behind. then.
No. Yeah, they're relatively short seasons. I think they're only 8 or 9 episodes each.
It's
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah.
Has anybody watched Omni Man?
Oh yes.
No.
No.
Okay,
No, it's.
I keep seeing clips of it. I'm like, man, I gotta watch this.
It's Invincible
Oh, Invincible.
Is that what it's
Yes.
called? Yeah,
It's-
I haven't
Yes.
seen it yet.
Oh,
with Omni-Man, right? Yeah.
yes. Okay. Yeah, and I thought that sounded familiar. Invincible is incredible.
Oh,
Watch
God.
it.
So,
Holy
dude,
fuck.
I started watching this motherfucker. Let me tell you about my fucking first experience.
I'll tell you mine too.
Really quick, the actor that Nick likes a lot from Spider-Man,
J.K. Simmons.
that's who plays. That's who plays. That
Okay, he's the voice actor for it.
Yeah, dude, Lemons.
Dude, I love J.K. Simmons.
So, I'm sitting here, I'm watching this motherfucker. I just got done through like a Justice League like cartoon binge. And so I was like, oh, dude.
Stay spoiler free. If Nick hasn't watched it, it's really important
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
okay.
stay spoiler free.
All right, so all of a sudden I'm watching this show and I'm like, okay, this is kind of like 18 style, maybe a little more than that, Justice League.
Yeah.
And then at some point, near the end of the first episode, this motherfucker turns.
Oh yeah.
And I had to I rewatched that scene
Yeah.
6-7 times.
Uh-huh.
I've seen Omni-Man do a lot of horrifically violent things online.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know the
excellent.
context for them,
Yeah,
but I
well,
assume
like-
that's what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Dude, because all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. Superheroes, Justice League. And
Yeah.
then you're just like, I'm in. Dude, at the end of that first episode, I was fucking in.
So I started watching it after like yours and Russ's recommendations, you know, our friend group, right? And I am halfway through the first episode and I'm like, what the fuck is this WB ass fucking kind of poorly animated fucking capes and cows nerd ass bullshit? Because for me, like, I don't like Superman style shit. I don't give a fuck. And what you have me watching right now is like shitty young Superman without powers.
Right?
I am just not that fucking
Animated
into it.
Smallville.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm just not fucking into this. Like, I will finish this episode. I might give the second episode a try, see where it takes it. And dude, until the last like 3 minutes of the first episode, I was just kind of done with the show.
And then
And then the end happens, and fucking A was I sold.
Right?
I'm in. I now know what this show is about, and I'm so into it.
Did you guys know there's a boys animated spinoff?
yes,
do.
I've watched.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
So there's a few, again, like the animated Star Wars thing, there were a few episodes of that boy's Diabolical, the animated one, that
Diabolical, that's what it's called.
really fucking enjoyed. I really enjoyed. And then there's a few episodes where they missed me a little bit.
Now,
but
real quick, so it's not episodic, right?
no. They're
And
little
each one
shorts,
has-
little
yeah.
stories, beginning, middle, end, little stories.
And each one has different directors and voice
Yes,
actors,
and sometimes
and
different animation styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're all one-offs,
Love
like
Death and
Animatrix, Love Death Robots. Yeah. Speaking
which
of
I've
which,
been watching.
I haven't been watching the new
Do you
season.
watch the new season?
Not yet.
Oh, some of it's been really good. Like, I'm not done with it yet, but the first like 5 episodes have been tits.
Yeah.
In other news, we are going to be, I mean, it's a little delayed, but we're going to be playing Fragged Empire soon.
Yes.
Tabletop role playing game, Australian developer. It is
Fucking Wade.
Yeah, I mean, it's none of the lore is like really groundbreaking sci-fi stuff, but he managed to find a way to really kind of like crunchify.
In a way, after watching a lot of this stuff and reading some of his stuff here, I actually feel like it is a little groundbreaking in the way that he's left this lore really open and he's kind of leaving it up to players and GMs out there to be like, where's the next generation at, guys? Like, we want to hear some of your stories and like see some of what you guys are doing with this. And then we'll see what, like, because they have that first introductory generation, like, kind of laid out some of the history there, but where it goes from there seems very open.
That's a
and up
nice
to
thing
players,
about
up to-
creating a universe for a tabletop game is that you can leave so much open because you need to leave room to play.
Yeah.
And I listen to a lot of people talk about tabletop games at the meta level and stuff. And a problem people routinely have with stuff like playing Star Wars or playing Star Trek or playing fucking Robin Hood, it doesn't matter, is that there's very little room to play in, right? Star Wars is great because we have so much expanded universe content that we can say, okay, you guys are on the Hutt planet doing criminal syndicate shit, or, you're this branch of the rebels, right? But when you start getting things like Lord of the Rings or Star Trek, where it's like, God forbid you put them on the Enterprise or make them play as like the Fellowship. Like at what point you don't, where do you have room to maneuver, So it's nice at Fragment Empire because it's a brand new kind of universe. You have all that room to explore. We've had a little bit of trouble understanding the new 2E playtest rules because the second edition's coming out. And just the way they're formatted, it's been really frustrating. But thankfully, the developer and their Discord are active all the time. We've talked with him and a lot of the people on the Discord trying to get stuff.
That's been pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
To just be like, sometimes when we have a question, the creator's like, well, this is what I was meaning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
really,
Do what you want. Yeah, or I'll fix that later. I like that once we understood the character creation and whatnot, it's almost video gamey. Like you go to build your weapon, Adam managed to make a dagger that has a splash radius, right? I've got a grenade that locks on, does DOT, and casts essentially Bless in my party and Curse on the opponents. So you get all these really cool, crunchy systems that are highly codified. Whereas in something like 5th edition D&D, you get your sword or your club or your axe, and then everything's based off your class features, right? Like here are your powers you can do. It's not build this highly complicated, unique weapon that combos well with all these other abilities, and then find a way to make those mesh. We haven't played yet. We still got a couple weeks. Brian, one of our players, got sick. He got the COVID again. He's out there just eating crows or bats or whatever.
Listen, I got the Rona twice, and I wasn't eating bats.
Yeah, but you're
Crows, yes.
That's
no.
your problem. COVID-19.
Listen, dude, fight.
COVID.
You got. I'm just drinking their milk. Okay. Fight like a.
You're
crow.
drinking off-brand fight milk?
No, it's regular brand.
Show me a bottle. I don't believe you don't have first-party
I-
fight milk.
I don't have a bottle.
You got that battle juice.
you don't.
Battle cream.
Fight milk doesn't come in a bottle. You got to go out there and earn it
Yeah.
by fighting crows and milking it right from them.
You said it's not a product you can buy. They did a whole commercial.
Yeah. Did they list the price or a place where you can buy it? No.
Fuck.
The only thing
Very true.
the only thing fight milk is going to help you fight is a toilet.
Do you hate porcelain? No, we're doing that. I was going to run a 5e game, and 5e was...
Wow. Fightmilk.com is available.
It's $3,000?
It's just $3,300.
Okay.
I'm blown
investment.
away that they didn't buy that.
I know, especially since
They might have
own.
bought it for a period of time, but it's not a forever thing.
Yeah.
Well, they own Dick Towel.
Dick
Oh.
Towel? Okay. Fight Milk's a band, apparently.
Dude.
Good to know. I'll have to
I
listen to that.
saw this fucking meme. It was just of this ship
Dude, they might have let go of
out
Dick
on
Towel.
like open water, and then like half of Dennis Reynolds' face, like just like all like profile, like
Oh, no,
looking
they
at.
saw
Okay.
And the title of the movie was called The
The
Implication.
implication.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like the little bottom thing is like, no one's in danger.
No one's in danger.
Oh,
They have dick towels.
Yeah,
they
dude,
have
from the
vagina
show.
towel.
No,
Yeah.
it's a girl
Dick Towel.
Oh man,
You get the
That's
Dick Towel hat or the Dick Towel shot glass. Awesome, hilarious, big, small.
This is amazing. They just linked a clip from the show.
Well, I thought so, but it seems to have exploded.
There it is. Dick towel.
For those that don't know, Dick Towel was a really short joke made on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in an early season. And this is how they helped fund their show, was they actually decided to make dicktowel.com sell the actual towels. And that's how they funded some of the early episodes of It's Always Sunny. So, yeah, really funny stuff.
That's amazing. Comedy.
man, those guys have gone so far.
Yeah.
It's a decade?
I mean, they're
It's more than that.
They're
'cause it's
almost
like,
A-list creators because I mean, you got the one guy with the show on Apple.
yeah.
Charlie Day is
Charlie Day is huge.
multiple
Yeah.
movies.
Wow. 17 years.
Yeah, I mean they're on season 15, or they just wrapped up season 15 or 16.
Damn.
So yeah,
And still
mean
good stuff.
I think it's the longest running comedy show now, if I remember right.
Oh, live action.
Yeah. The only thing that beats them is Simpsons.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that all comedy shows included, the only thing that beats them is the Simpsons.
Or South Park.
Ooh, yeah, it's probably South Park. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a
I think
lot
it's
of
South Park.
procedurals that have been up forever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, 22
Oh,
years.
Curb.
But It's Always Sunny. He's coming up number 5 for longest running TV sitcom.
And that's fifth.
Simpsons,
only,
South Park, Family Guy, Curb, It's Always
So
Sunny.
as far as live action, it's only beaten by Curb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
American Dad. Dude, I've seen like
I know.
3 episodes of that show.
that shit still feels like it might be
Still
like new.
running?
Yeah,
Damn.
It's because Fox won't let it die.
yeah.
Yeah.
They got Dr. Frankenstein on their fucking.
On their crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just wild. Dude, do you guys watch the Always Sunny podcast?
No,
I
Or
I'm
listen?
considering
do
giving
it a
listen.
few times, but
Oh,
it's been a while.
It's worth a listen. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Dude, I'm
Comes out
old.
every Monday.
Okay.
We're older than The Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, not really, because we're
Started
older
on
than the
Tracy
show.
Ullman show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're younger than the segment. We're older than the show. Yeah. I know, dude. We're turning into old men.
Family Guy is going on. Yeah.
I tried watching Simpsons episodes that have come out like the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years.
They're just not good.
No, they're not.
No.
First 10 seasons.
It's full of really awkward one-liners.
Yeah.
They just don't do the clever writing that they used to. I mean, they used to really build something up during an episode and
I
have
think
really clever writing.
It might come down to that they don't have A-list writers anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Conan O'Brien
Yeah.
was one of the biggest writers for The Simpsons for a
Yeah.
long time. And then he got his own show, and The Simpsons started to suck. So
Yeah.
maybe there's something there. But as far as I understand, Matt Groening doesn't even like really work on The Simpsons anymore.
That doesn't surprise me.
And he's the showrunner, creator, and the like executive producer, and was the head writer.
Yeah.
Like that, he was a one man fucking like, showrunner.
As far as comedy shows go, I mean, we have a much larger variety than I think back in the 90s or early 2000s.
Yeah, right now there isn't a comedy show that screams out to me like this is excellent. Like I think
Morty.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's so. I think that Rick and Morty always hits, but it's so sparse that between seasons, yeah. Like
got you there.
2 and 3 year wait
that,
times
true
between
that,
seasons sometimes. So it's not live right now, and we don't know when it's happening again. So it's hard to say that that's like current, because even the latest season it's almost been a year.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, I would say there are some pretty good comedies maybe coming up. I mean, we have with next year the return of King of the Hill,
Yeah.
Futurama.
King of the Hill's coming back.
Sure
King of
is.
the Hill's coming back.
so exciting.
But those
sound
but
bites for
we
Andy.
don't know that they're going to be good, right?
But like,
Fuck you, Bobby.
dude, I don't know. Dude. I
Sorry.
mean,
I apologize.
No, it was
Fuck
perfect.
you, Bobby.
Sounded just like it.
I think, fair enough. We don't know it's going to be good, but
Like Matt Groening is, I think, heading Futurama. Why can't I remember his name right now? King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead. Mike Judge.
yeah,
Mike
Mike
Judge
Judge
is at least partially responsible for bringing back King of the Hill. So there's trust to be had there. I mean, Mike Judge is just a fucking brilliant human being.
yeah.
I mean, he created
Silicon Valley. Yeah. Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill. Beavis and Butthead's getting a new movie. It's coming to Paramount Plus. It's the only reason to have Paramount
Yeah,
Plus
I
now.
saw they're making a Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah.
They do the universe.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
He is the director, writer, producer, and an actor in it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be.
He goes, when he makes something, he goes
Yeah.
fucking hard. Like, Mike Judge is half of the voices that are on any of the shows that he's ever created. It's crazy. He hand drew the first, 15 episodes of Beavis and Butthead that aired on MTV. Guy's a machine.
Other than that, it's looking like that's what he's currently been working on.
Yeah, it is. Now, all I mean by that is like there was a time where we had like The Office and Parks and Rec and like all of the shows that are currently running also, right?
Yeah, there's nothing really sitcom-y, and I love a good sitcom. I love a good sitcom. There's nothing really sitcom-y out there that's grabbing
Well, there
my
is,
eye.
but yeah, there's plenty of sitcoms, but they're all fucking bad.
No, but it's like that. I don't know that. Yeah, it's that generic bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What? Is there any particular sitcoms you've been watching
I don't
recently?
know.
Just so
everything has a laugh track. It's like
everything does the Big Bang Theory formula.
yeah,
Everything, because the Big Bang Theory was fucking huge.
yeah.
Like you can't.
Successful.
It was
I
more
like
successful
Big
than
Bang
all other
Blows my
TV
mind.
combined. You pair that with something like what was the one with Charlie Sheen?
Two and a
Two
half.
and a
Two and a
Half
Half Men.
Men.
Another wildly, insanely popular TV show.
stand
Like
that show.
literally the pillar of a network.
Yeah. I mean,
And those are the shows that we get
so
now.
popular.
Those are the shows we get now. They're just ripoffs of Two and a Half Men
That
and
formula. Yeah.
yeah, and the other one.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that one.
Bazoranga. How did you guys feel about Space Force? Is that still going?
I didn't finish the second.
The first season was pretty good.
I enjoyed.
Yeah.
The first
I liked the
season.
first season.
I
The
didn't
the
finish
second season fell flat immediately for
Yeah,
me.
it did.
Oh man, The Bad Place, dude! How fucking great was that show?
Yeah.
Like I would like. Yeah.
The Good Place.
Or The Good Place. Yeah.
The Good Place was fucking awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Boys, I think it's about time to wrap up though.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I think it is.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back next week with more Video Game Tango, with more balcony time. Make sure you go to videogametango.com/blog or just check out videogametango.com. You can see the live stream from there. You can see the blog posts. You can see you can see all of our YouTube videos. They're all
see
curated there for you.
Every one of the 1,000 planets Starfield is going to have.
That's true, but you can't travel there. So
Balcony time, same tango place.
that's right.
Perfect.
Hey, make sure you come back. Check us out next week. Videogametango.com.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.